What's up, YouTube? So, in this video, I'm going to be kind of commentating over the video I did yesterday of the Voch Lombardi Patreon Fantasy Draft League. I'm in it, so I wanted to go ahead and record it, and I'll pretty much keep up with both fantasy leagues throughout the season. Now, just because it was at 10 o'clock on a Saturday night, I wasn't able to record the audio just because my house is just too loud late on a Saturday night. So I recorded the video, and now that the house is quieter, I'm going to commentate over it and just kind of explain what happened. It was an hour long, so I'll probably fast forward here and there, and So I'm going to go ahead and hit play here. Skip through some of these picks. Yeah, just looking at Joe Mixon's injury there. I think he ended up getting taken, though. I think that's what happened. Unfortunately, it was a 20-person league, and I got the 16th pick, so most of the big players were already off the board by the time I was drafting, especially the big running backs, because I really wanted to prioritize running back. Yeah, he went in that pick, so I went with Chris Carson instead. Now, I did cut out the chat that was on this side, because for some reason the people's government names were showing, and I didn't want to show that, so... we all have our nicknames up here, but their government names were there. So, yeah, I didn't want to show that. I'm not sure why that happened, but it did. So yeah. Yep. Came to my turn. I ended up going with Todd Gurley. I'm just not that big of a believer in James Conner. I'm really not. I was worried about David Johnson's injuries, and I'm worried about Todd Gurley's too. I just thought that the upside for Todd Gurley was going to be really good in Atlanta. They don't have a lot of depth there at running back, so he's kind of the main guy. So that's kind of why I went with him. And I needed a pair of good running backs because my strategy was to try to get running backs and receivers as fast as I can, fill my depth up with those, because later they're just gone, especially with this many players. Let me fast forward a little bit here. Okay. So at this point, as you can see, I was kind of looking at receiver. Now, I wasn't sure. I was stuck between Marquise Brown and DK Metcalf, but I did decide to go with Marquise Brown. Just purely because, honestly, the bye week. This early on, I was trying to avoid having too many players on the same bye week, and, DK and Chris Carson were still on the same team, so that's the main reason I went with Marquise Brown. At this point, I didn't go tight end here. I do end up going receiver. I just wanted to see what tight ends were available, what the tight end room was looking like. So, at this point, I do end up going with Devontae Parker. Again, he doesn't share a bye week with any of them. Stephon Diggs also would have been good, but the reason why I went with Parker is because he did very well in fantasy last year, and Stephon Diggs is on a new team. And that kind of makes things a little bit weird. A.J. Green gets hurt every year. Same thing with Will Fuller. Michael Gallup, we kind of have to see what his numbers are going to look like. Because, you got Amari Cooper. Now you got C.D. Lamb as well. So we got to see exactly what his numbers are going to look like. Because he'll still probably be the number 2 guy, but still. So I ended up going with Devontae Parker to be my number 2 receiver. can't remember who this guy took. That's right. All right, let me let's fast forward a little bit. Because like I said, I'm at the very back of the draft, so I don't want to... Perfect. So at this point, I was wanting to go running back again. Because like I said, the running back room and the receiver room, they're going to run out quick. Oh, I guess I drafted the tight end. Did I miss that somehow? I guess I did. I guess you've probably seen who I drafted then. Whatever. It's not that big a deal. I mean, ultimately, I could just show you the team. But, I think it's better to kind of have you get my thoughts on it. As you can see, I wanted to get my starting tight end before I started filling the bench out. I usually like to get my bench filled out a little bit more, but with how tight ends were starting to go, I wanted to get Hayden Hurst. In my head, the strategy I had, if Hayden Hurst was gone, I was going to go back to getting a receiver. But I had it in my head. If he's there, I'm taking him. If not, I'm going to get a running back or a receiver. And he was there, so I took him. I know he's on a new team, but Hayden Hurst is a good player, and he's on the Falcons now. That's a team that's probably going to throw the ball quite a bit, so I was interested in him. And Matt Ryan really likes tight ends, so. And they don't have Austin Hooper anymore. Austin Hooper's in Cleveland. Yeah, as you can see, I want to go running back here. Or did I end up going receiver? No, I went running back. Yeah. For some reason, I can't remember the player I went with. Yes, I do. Yeah, I ended up going with Tevin Coleman. And the reason I went with Tevin Coleman is because he gets a lot of receiving touches too. All the 49ers receivers got a lot of big numbers this year, and I kind of expect that to be the case this year. But he also gets a lot of receiving targets, so that's going to really help his statistics there too. Darrell Henderson, we got to see both of these two really. I got to see exactly what they're going to look like with their starting roles, or at least with their bigger roles. So, I believe in Darrell Henderson, and I love Raquel Armstead, but you know, I was just looking at the quarterback room. There's still plenty there. I'm not getting a quarterback till much later. I think I got my quarterback in round 10. And I still got a pretty decent quarterback. So now that I got another running back, I'm looking to get a receiver. So right here, this is a future pick. I don't think he's going to do very good week 1, but I think Jalen Reagor by the end of the season is going to be pretty good. I kind of regret not getting Mike Williams. I think I was looking at the bye weeks. I already had 2 people on week 10 with Todd Gurley and Hayden Hurst. I think that's why I didn't take Mike Williams. And it's kind of hard to say because Tyrod Taylor is not that great of a quarterback. And I'm not sure about Justin Herbert. So I think that's also partly why. And no matter, even if they're not good, Eagles receivers tend to do at least decently. So, and he's better than the receivers they've had in a while. I like Jalen Reagor. I still don't like the value of the pick during their actual draft. Yeah, I did decide to go get my backup tight end because they were flying off the board. And they still had some pretty good people. So, yeah. I ended up going to get my backup tight end. That way I can kind of play match up with it, depending on who they're playing against, and, bye week. Got a decent backup tight end. Now I'm going to go back to receiver. I think I drafted a receiver here. Yeah, I went defense. I was thinking I might have. Yeah, I remember having it in my head. I was just kind of looking at the different positions, and I wanted to make sure I got a decent defense before it went off the board because they were starting to take them. And I like playing matchups with defenses, and I was feeling comfortable with the depth I was building, and the fact that I had another pick right here. That's why part of why I went defense. And I did go with the Chargers as well, which really makes me regret not. Well, I guess it doesn't make me regret not taking Mike Williams, actually. Yeah, I ended up going with Denzel Mims here. Mainly because I went to check his injury real quick. He had a little hamstring injury, but he said most definitely will be ready week 1. So it didn't sound serious to me. So I went and drafted him. The Jets don't really have much in terms of receivers go, so he's probably going to get some playing time pretty early. So that's why I ended up drafting Denzel Mims there. Yeah, this is the round I go and get my quarterback. I was hoping Drew Lock was still going to be there, but unfortunately he is not. So right here, I was really contemplating between Gardner Minshew and Jimmy Garoppolo. I was really debating between the two of them, but I ended up going with Jimmy just because the weapons are a little bit better, and he's going to be on a better team. So I ended up getting Jimmy Garoppolo. And getting him in the 10th round of a 20-person league, Jimmy Garoppolo is a pretty good quarterback for that. Considering I had the 16th pick in a 20-person league, I think this is a pretty decent team. It's not great. I definitely did make some mistakes, but I think I did pretty good. I ended up going with Hunter Renfrow here because I wanted to get another like flex position depth player. It was either going to be a running back or receiver, but there really wasn't any running backs worth taking at this point. But I thought Hunter Renfrow was going to be able to give me some value. As you see, I went just flex. I was looking at running backs and receivers. I was debating between Hunter Renfrow and Lynn Bowden, but I haven't been able to see Lynn Bowden play in the NFL yet, so I went with Renfrow because it's a little bit of a safer pick. So, yeah. I think I go backup defense next, I think. I either go backup defense or backup quarterback. Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at everything that's available. As you can see right here, I'm looking at the running backs, actually just flex. There just isn't much available anymore. This is why I was really taking value in getting running backs and receivers early. Because I didn't want to have to get stuck with drafting people that aren't really going to play. Like Rex Burkhead, he might have a couple games where he really shines because the Patriots do that type of thing. Frank Gore might have some of those games, but no real consistency. But Todd Gurley, Chris Carson, Tevin Coleman, they're going to put up decent numbers most games. Marquise Brown, Devontae Parker, they're for sure starters. Jalen Reagor probably will be eventually. Denzel Mims is going to be a starter right away. Hunter Renfrow is probably going to get his snaps. So I feel pretty good about the depth of this team. And that's what I was really wanting to build, was depth. Now, I wanted to get a defense that, because I wanted to get my backup defense, because like I said, I like playing matchup. And I wanted to find one that didn't have the same bye week, because I want to try to keep the same two defenses if possible throughout the year, if they're both decent. So I wasn't wanting the Chiefs because they share the same bye week as the Chargers, so I was looking at Philly. And that's who I ended up getting too. So. Yeah. Now I think I go get my backup quarterback. Or maybe I got my kicker. I can't remember. I think I just seen it. I think I get my kicker here. guess we can just let it play. There we go. Yeah, I ended up going with Brandon McManus. I just wanted to get a decent kicker. Now I end up going to get my backup quarterback. Which I think I remember who I ended up with. And again, I wanted to make sure it didn't share the same bye week as Jimmy Garoppolo. I ended up thinking Justin Herbert here. Possibly. I wanted Haskins. If Haskins was going to be available, he was my number one option. But if not, Justin Herbert, because I think he will end up starting eventually. They said that Tyrod Taylor is going to start the season. But I just had a feeling that he wouldn't be there the whole time. That for some reason, Justin Herbert was going to have to come in. This is Voch's pick here. I don't remember who he takes. Whatever. I think he went and got his kicker, actually. I think he went and got Steven Gostkowski, who I didn't realize was still available. Yeah, I ended up going with Justin Herbert. So, yeah, man. So Jimmy Garoppolo, Chris Carson, Todd Gurley, Marquise Brown, Devontae Parker, Hayden Hurst, Coleman. You got the Chargers defense, Brandon McManus, Jalen Reagor, Jonnu Smith, Denzel Mims, Hunter Renfrow, Eagles defense, and Justin Herbert. I think that's a pretty decent team. I wish I would have gotten one less receiver, maybe another running back instead. But the running backs just ran out so quickly that I just stacked up on receivers instead. So, I mean, it just is what it is, man. It's tough with a 20-person league. Like, it's tough. You're not going to get the depth that you would with a 10 or a 12. It just is what it is. So, yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to do an abbreviated version. I just wanted to show y'all what I ended up doing. And since I'm voicing it over, I didn't want to voice over an hour-long thing of something I've already done. I just fast-forwarded. So, yeah. Anyway, this has been the Voch Lombardi Patreon fantasy draft thing. Well, I'm going to be a part of it. I'm going to keep you guys updated on, week to week, matchup wise. Like, did I win? Did I lose? What happened? All that type of thing. I'll keep you updated on this one and the other fantasy one. I'll probably record them in the same video because it's both ESPN fantasy. So I'll probably just do both. So yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, I'd appreciate you hitting that like button. If you have any questions or comments, leave in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.